Something else, but
Yeah.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode in our 12 days of Christmas series. We're bringing you a bonus episode every day until Christmas Day, and in this episode we will be talking about our favorite special Christmas episodes of TV shows. And I'm going to start the 20-minute timer right now, because knowing us, we can say we're going to talk for 20 minutes and we end up talking for an hour and a half, and where did the time go?
I don't think that's going to happen on this one.
So every show, especially like American shows, they almost always have their very special holiday episode. And some shows take it to an extreme, because they have to have a Halloween episode, a Thanksgiving episode, Christmas episode, a New Year's episode, a Valentine's episode. You can bank about half the season off the holidays. Now, a lot of times in merry old England, they'll have a Christmas episode, but it'll just be like a regular episode of a show that they just air on Christmas. Because I guess everybody gets done with the turkey or the ham and all that kind of stuff, and they just want to watch TV. And so there's a new episode of stuff. Spotted Dick. Yes, I forgot about that. So
Spotted Dick, Toad in the Hole, Blood Pudding.
Now, I've had Toad in the Hole. That's just a snack. It's just a piece of bread with an egg in it. Okay. I have seen on the internet. I've never seen it in the grocery store around here, but I have seen Spotted Dick, and it's just like it's in a can.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the? We're talking about holiday food now. Have you ever seen the holiday meal in a can?
No,
like not in real life. But no.
Yeah, not in real life. I've seen it online, but it's basically they sell a can, and like it's got layers, and like there'll be a meat layer and a cranberry sauce layer and a stuffing layer, and and it goes up from there. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Let's see.
Clearly, somebody paid more attention to whether they could and not whether they should.
Holiday meal in a can. And it's called Christmas Dinner. It says it's this says it's a scrambled egg and bacon layer, followed by the main event, which is minced meat pies, turkey, potatoes, gravy, bread sauce, cranberry sauce, Brussels sprouts or broccoli with stuffing, roast carrots, and parsnips. And before finishing with the dessert layer, which is a Christmas pudding.
What is?
And this is all in layers in one can.
I like all of that stuff, but together in a can is terrifying.
I've always been tempted of buying a turducken. They have them at the grocery store over here, a turducken, but I've never.
If you're buying it, that's wrong. If you're going to do something like that, you've got to build your own.
I'm not good enough to do stuff like that.
Then you shouldn't be eating.
But I would like to try.
A real random rule, Rick. Who said you have to build
turducken is basically it's like they take a duck, they debone the duck and stuff it inside of a chicken, and then deboned chicken, and then the chicken is stuffed inside of the turkey, and then they cook it all together.
Exactly. That's something that has to be made properly on its own. I'm not making up rules. This is just how the universe should work.
I'm not making up rules.
Okay.
All right. Yes, I am making up rules because I am the center of my universe. But still, have you seen the Cthulhukin, where it's a turkey with an octopus shoved inside it?
Yes, I have seen that. I have. I think that was just made so somebody could take a picture of it and put it online. But
no, because people eat octopus, people eat turkey, so
not together. Nobody eats seafood and poultry in the same bite. All right, Christmas episodes. I have 5 that I wrote down. One is from when I was a kid. I haven't seen this since I was a kid, but it was an episode of Highway to Heaven that had Dick Van Dyke on it.
That show was
And-
about a freaking angel. Every episode was a Christmas episode.
Yeah, but this was specifically the Christmas episode, or one of them. I'm sure they had 12 Christmas episodes. This is one I remember, and it was Dick Van Dyke played a hobo puppeteer, and he meets this little boy. He meets this little boy that's critically ill, and by the end of the episode, he trades his life so that the little boy can live. So,
How?
because angel stuff. I don't know.
No, I mean,
Because
like,
he prays. I haven't seen it since I was 8, but I remember the little boy. The little boy, from what I remember, the little boy is real sick, and they say he probably won't make it through the night. Dick Van Dyke goes for a walk, and then the next morning, the little boy wakes up and he's miraculously better. And they find Dick Van Dyke, and he's outside, frozen in the snow.
It's the portrait of Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah. So, do you know what the difference is between a hobo and a homeless person? And this is not a joke. I'm not setting up a punchline or anything.
Woody Guthrie song.
I would guess the vernacular of a hobo is more of a vagrant and traveling person, whereas a homeless person could be in the same area. A hobo, hobos will like ride the rails, and they'll go kind of like from town to town, just kind of wandering, whereas a homeless person can just be,
a hobo
person can live on the same street corner for years.
Can I just say this conversation cannot end well?
Well, a hobo is not. A hobo is homeless on purpose. They travel. They do work. They go from town to town and they get odd jobs and stuff, and they make enough to feed themselves and things like that, But they are, that's a hobo.
I
like mine better. Homeless on purpose does not have a good ring to it. I'm gonna go with mine.
I did a play many years ago. I was part of the crew of the North American premiere of it, called Woody Guthrie's American Song, and I was introduced to a lot of Woody Guthrie's music that I had no idea. Did you know that This Land Is Your Land is a communist song?
Yeah.
Woody Guthrie was a communist. And This Land Is Your Land is actually a satirical song about capitalism and its hypocrisy. And that was a lot of Woody Guthrie's music. And it's funny, but he wrote a lot of songs about riding, the hobo lifestyle, I guess is a terrible way to put it, but
is he the one that wrote the Big Rock Candy Mountain? Or there was a song called the Big Rock Candy Mountain that was about the Big Rock Candy Mountain is a song that's about being a hobo, and they changed the lyrics over the years to make it more of a children's song, but the original lyrics were about living the lifestyle of riding the rails and that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, another Christmas.
I just love it when right wing events use "This Land Is Your Land" as a theme song, and I'm like, dude, you have no freaking idea what you're doing. But that has nothing to do with Christmas episodes.
Yeah, every other song that they try to use, they get slammed with "Don't use my song."
Just use Ted Nugent's music. He's not going to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I Made the Pussy Purr with the Stroke of My Hand is right up there with. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. If you want to start over, I'm fine with that.
No, that's fine. Community. Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. John, I know you've seen it.
I have seen it, but I've only seen it the once, and it's been a while. I was unprepared for this episode that we're recording, so it's like a few minutes ago. I was like searching lists of best Christmas episodes, and that was on. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one, but I don't really remember that one.
Well, basically, Abed has a break from reality, and he thinks he's in a Christmas episode, and all of his friends they turn into like these Rankin Bass animated characters and stuff. So it was one of the first episodes of Community that really went way off. Up until that point, they had been more or less a regular sitcom with just an oddball episode here or there, like the paintball episodes and stuff like that. That was the first one where they really went in left field and did a cartoon. And after that, they did a couple more times. They had a puppet episode, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
anime.
Yeah, they did the anime. They did the video game episode where they were in a video game and yeah.
See, Stargate SG-1's 200th episode or 100th episode. No, 200th episode. They did all that stuff.
They did all that stuff?
Yeah.
So Doctor Who's got a lot of Christmas episodes. Which ones of those do you guys like?
Freaking flying sharks.
That one's not bad. I was actually gonna do an episode
that actually
of
is
this
mine.
series.
That's the one where he does like a Christmas Carol, right, with the flying shark.
Yeah, I was gonna do an episode.
I
of
love
this.
that is easily my favorite Doctor Who Christmas episode.
I was gonna do an episode of this series where we talk about our favorite version of a Christmas Carol. May still do it, but that was one of them for me. Was that version of a Christmas Carol was the Doctor Who one.
He's because he knows the story and he's like, wait, I'm a time traveler. I can do that. Wait a minute. Like you literally see him like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I got a jerk. I got a time machine. Let's do it. And
well, like when he's sitting there watching a home video and he goes back in time to when the video is being made and he's watching it on the screen.
Okay, I just remembered. Now that you mention it, there was one where Nick Frost played Santa Claus.
Yeah, that was Last
and
Christmas.
It was like an alien ripoff, and Nick Frost was actually Santa Claus. I enjoyed that one a lot because of course I remember it so clearly.
Was it just called The Snowman or The Night of the Snowman?
Something like that, yeah.
I think it was like The Night of the Snowman.
The crazy snowman with the big teeth and the big shark teeth.
That was between Amy Pond and Clara, if I'm not mistaken.
Clara was in that episode. Yeah,
but that was like when she was still mysterious.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
she was.
Yeah, because she had already they had already had an episode where she came back and she was a Dalek, and then she died in that episode, and then she came back in this episode.
And then
she came back in this episode, and it was really unexplained as to how she can be back. Plus, it takes place in the 19th century, and all of that, so.
And he's sulking in the TARDIS in a cloud over Victorian England or some shit. Yeah.
Now, was the Doctor Who? It's kind of a staple now that every year they do a Christmas episode.
They had up until.
Yeah, they didn't do one last year. Did they used to do that in the old series, or was that just they didn't start doing that until David Tennant? Right, David Tennant's first episode was a Christmas episode.
They started with the new Who. Starting with Christopher Eccleston.
Well, he wasn't in a Christmas episode. The first Christmas episode for Doctor Who was the first episode that David Tennant was in. Well, it was the one with the spinny Christmas trees. Yeah.
So they were.
That was the end of David Tennant or Christopher Eccleston's.
That was the handoff.
Well, Christopher Eccleston, he turned the Ninth Doctor turned into the 10th Doctor the episode before that, and this was the first episode where David Tennant was in the entire episode.
Oh, okay, sure.
But
how long ago was that?
yeah, it was a while. It was a while back. But I've got written down Simpsons roasting on an open fire, which was
is that the one where they get Santa's little helper?
Mm-hmm. It was basically the first episode of The Simpsons.
I've got that one. That's on my list.
Because The Simpsons, up until then, had just been like 5-minute segments on the Tracy Ullman show. And then this was the first. It wasn't advertised as being the first episode of The Simpsons. It was just a Simpsons Christmas special. And then the following week, the Simpsons started. And if you go back and watch it now, if you compare it to what's coming on now, the animation is so bad. But
well, since it's been on for what, 30 years?
About 30. Like 30. It started in 89, I think, was the first episode. So you're talking about like 30. 31,
Stop
32
being
years now.
funny about 50 years ago. So,
I don't know about that.
I didn't hear what you said, right?
say what?
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you
I
say?
said they stopped being funny about 15 years ago.
Oh, it's an exaggeration.
Oh yeah, I watched the. I don't watch The Simpsons regularly anymore, but I do watch the Treehouse of Horror every year. That's like
I
a
think a lot of people
Halloween.
are like that.
Yeah, it's like a Halloween staple for me. I watch that every year, and I watched it this year, and it wasn't bad. You know.
Yeah, The Simpsons at this point for me is one of those shows where I never watch it. I never make a point to watch it. Like I don't seek it out. I don't watch it on Hulu. But if
Disney Plus
or Disney Plus or the internets, if I happen to see it, it's still funny. Like they're still they usually still work. And whenever it gets canceled, whenever it actually finally ends, I will be a little bit sad, even though I haven't watched it in 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
So
I did.
I'm part of the problem.
I probably stopped. I used to watch it every week. I probably stopped watching it not long after the movie came out, which I mean is not a ding on it. I liked the movie. I thought the movie was good, but I just kind of fell off my radar after a while. But Frasier had an episode called Miracle on 3rd or 4th Street that I thought I watched it. The only reason I mention it is because I watched it recently. It popped up on it was the next episode for me to watch on Netflix, and I watched it, and it was a first season episode for Frasier, and the whole gist of it is that he has to work on Christmas, he has to go do his show, and of course nobody's really listening other than the really, really lonely people, so they're the ones that are calling in, and he gets so depressed. And he and also his son, he was supposed to spend Christmas with his son, but he ended up going on a vacation with his mother to Austria or something like that instead. And so Frasier winds up at a diner by himself, and I can't remember what happens after that.
I think there's a happy ending coming to this, right?
Yeah, he ends up meeting somebody in the diner that's. He ends up meeting somebody in the diner that ends up being in a worse situation than he is, and he ends up giving him advice or whatever and gets him through the holiday and stuff. But that's it. That was my list. And we've got 2.5 minutes left. So
great. Well, I have some things.
Okay, go ahead. Well, you told me you didn't when we started. You said I don't have anything.
All right. So
we can go a couple minutes over.
It's fine. I had 4 on my list, and 2 of them you already said. Doctor Who special, which I think of as the Christmas Carol episode, but also the Flying Sharks is also accurate. The Simpsons episode with Santa Little Helper. The Buffy Christmas episode, I didn't remember the name of it. I had to look it up. It's called Amends. But Angel is just being tortured by visions of like the people he's killed, and the visions tell him basically if you kill Buffy you'll be at peace, and he's just like I can't do it, but they keep it's literally driving him insane. So instead of killing Buffy, he decides to like stand like outside and wait for the sun to rise,
mm-hmm.
and just kill himself. But instead it snows, so the sun doesn't come out. Spoiler, but that was a really good episode. And it never snows in Sunnydale, California. It's a Christmas miracle. And all right, so here's my left field pick, but I actually really enjoyed this. The Librarians, which I think had like 3 or 4 seasons. It was fun.
Yeah.
But they did a Christmas episode where Santa was played by Bruce Campbell, which isn't
Yeah,
why
that's right. Yeah, I remember
which
that.
isn't why I really like the episode. Although that was nice.
I have to look that one up now.
I really like the episode because it presented a kind of new mythology for Santa, which is always nice if you can pull it off. I'm trying to decide if I want to. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you, but I'm sure it's on Hulu or something. Like, look it up. The Librarians Christmas episode. Let's see what it's called. Give me a second. I may have already deleted the page that I had up. So, but yeah, look up Librarians Christmas episode, Bruce Campbell. That should get you there.
You know, it's not an episode of a TV show, but Rise of the Guardians is actually, it's not technically a Christmas movie, but Santa's in it.
Santa's a major player in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen it about 1 million times because my kid went through like 6 months of watching it over and over and over again, and it's not bad. It's actually kind of fun.
The Librarians, all 4 seasons of The Librarians is on Hulu.
Oh,
so there you go.
The Rise of the Guardians is based on a children's book series.
Oh, okay.
And so the Easter Bunny, the Santa,
who's voiced by Hugh Jackman, and Santa is Alec Baldwin.
Yes.
Oh, thank fuck. I'm sorry.
So close,
Merry
Rick.
Christmas. Merry Christmas. All right. So that's
right now. Better is everywhere. Like, damn it! Almost bought the big score.
That's our Christmas episode. I mean, our Christmas, very special Christmas episodes of TV shows discussion. We're gonna keep doing this series for the entire 12 days of Christmas, all the way until Christmas Day. So be sure to join us tomorrow for another episode of Cosmic Potato, the Super Fan Talk podcast, when you might hear John say,
hang on. Because I never know if you're actually going to do this or not. All right, here we go. I know that Blaster, the Autobot, was an actual ghetto blaster, but I feel like the most hood Autobot had to be Ratchet.
I get it.
Thank you. I knew that Rick wouldn't, but I wasn't sure if you would.
I get
I'll post it on Facebook later. You'll see the comments and it'll make sense.
Okay.